Welcome to Swarf and Chips. On this week's show, we're going to be discussing the Maylan Palletmaster and how it can help you and your company. This is what's coming up on this week's show, and I'm joined by Joe and Paul. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, Lyndsey.
Hello.
Are you well?
I'm very well. How are you? What have you been up to?
Another busy week at MTD. Lots of client renewals, lots of video media, lots of inquiries. Everyone's happy. Good.
I've just come from the XYZ open house event, launch event for the new 5-axis UMC machine, which has been a phenomenal success. We're going to talk about, we have spoken about that video, in fact, last week, but it was a really, really busy show. Lots of people interested in the machine, and they've got the new LR range as well, which they've just launched this week too.
I thought you might bring Nigel, one of the representatives,
Yeah.
up.
That's a good idea.
We'll get them on Swarf and Chips.
Well, they all watch the show, so let's get them on.
They love our stuff.
Yeah, get them on.
Right, okay, let's start. 10 videos, 10 minutes. You know the rules, 10 videos, 10 minutes, but you like to chat a lot, so sometimes we don't get through them all. Right, Shopfloor CMM from £27 a day. Who's this for and how can you get it for that price?
Well, it's for everybody, I think. You know, you've got CMM machines which are normally in a sterile environment, air-conditioned rooms, whereas this is designed for the shop floor. It fits next to your machine tool. It's a robust design, and it's a good marketing tool, isn't it? £27 a day. Doesn't sound a lot when you put it like that, does it?
Correct. I think what we forgot to mention here as well, this is Hexagon MI. This is what they call the Tego SF, so shop floor model. It's not a bridge type machine. It's actually a cantilever. So it's very, very portable. It's very, very easy to move around. And you can imagine having a CMM machine in one place can be a little bit of a disadvantage because you've got to take parts to it. What they're suggesting here is that this machine can be moved around the shop floor next to a machine, and it can then essentially measure your components as soon as they come off.
We think salary manufacture now, when people are looking to pull it all together, you're not having downtime on the machine whilst you go and check a component.
And the control on this is very, very intuitive. I've seen this before. It's very, very easy to program. There isn't really much like it in the market. It's certainly it's not as easy to move around, as flexible.
Not at the high end.
Not at the high end like this from Hexagon.
Yeah,
great product.
Small footprint, linear. Definitely have a look.
Do you know what I likened it to? And I know the Hooter's gone, but you know the XYZ 2-op machine that you move around? Yeah. It's a little bit like that. You can move it around the machine shop in order to measure your parts.
Okay then, yeah, 1 minute, you've got 1 minute. I'm going to add to that as well because they did say it was ideal for smaller business and the bigger OEM. So, okay, moving on. Hurco, they've just brought out a entry-level 5-axis machine, haven't they?
This is the VM10 UI. The machine has been out actually for some time, but it's one of the first times we've looked at it. But it's an extension of the VM1, which is a very popular machining centre. It's a very compact machine. They've added the 5-axis table into here. This machine was on show at a recent exhibition. We spoke with him. We talked about the specification of it, what it can machine. And he kind of, they pushed it towards a subcontract market, entry into 5-axis machining. Small footprint, high speed, alley machining like they're demonstrating here. And the big thing is their Max 5 control.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I found interesting. That component's relatively small, but actually 250mm cube. Yeah. The majority of 5-axis machining that I come across is probably in that envelope. So although it's a small footprint, you can probably get, I'm guessing here, 75% of manufacturing on there.
Well, how many 5-axis machines do you look at where they've got huge tables and actually
all of them,
very, very small component
all of them, exactly
seated in the middle? Hurco can offer both ends. They can offer this VM10 UI, but they've also got then the bigger 42 SRT, I think they are, machines.
So this is the entry level, smaller footprint, smaller parts.
Yeah,
they'll sell a lot of those.
But they will sell a lot of these machines, and they do sell a lot of them. And talking to the guys at Hurco, as we were told on this video, actually March last year was one of the best months they've ever had as a company. So all to do with the capabilities.
It's good video.
That new control, impressive control.
It's a good video. You can find out all the speeds and feeds and everything to do with the machine actually. So it's a really good spec video to watch. So Morris Engineering, probably one of the largest manufacturing companies in Plymouth, have gone for the Italian manufacturer of Biglia. Why have they chosen that?
Well, before I answer that question, is one of your better videos this, by the way. It's a rarity. But it's a B, well, kind of a compliment, B465 Biglia machine. And the thing I'm going to ask you, Paul, it's a triple turret. There's lots of twin turret, not so many triple turret, and I can't get my head around it. So obviously with a twin spindle, twin turret, you're going to do the back half whilst the front half's being machined.
Yeah.
But what's the third turret doing? Obviously, we can balance
We're
turn
up
on the
against it on
front.
time, so I'll tell you.
We can balance turn on the front. But
You can balance turn on the front spindle. You can be machining on the back. I think the way you have to look at this concept of machine is you've got 3 Y-axis driven tools on every turret. Is that when you've got a part, if it's a complex part, you want to do as many of those operations at the same time, because if you do that, you're going to reduce the cycle time. So that's probably the only way you need to think about it in your head. You can basically do 2 operations on the main spindle with the 2 turrets, and then you can be finishing off the component on the sub.
It's got to be intricate, isn't it? Because you could be doing that on the
it's
back half anyway.
It's application driven, but the machine here, there was one part that was taking 20 minutes that's now taking 3.5. Bought 2 Biglia machines, very, very impressed with them. As I say, the reduction in cycle time is key. You buy these machines from White House Machine Tools in the UK.
Fortunately, not all engineers think like me, because we see a lot of these from White House Machine Tools. So.
We do. And I know we keep, but they are. But it is a good video, and I appreciate the compliments.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. 1 minute, 1 video. That's all you're getting. Right. Next up, Trump Sheet Metal. They did a forum at Wilson Tools. What's the event? When's it on? How can we go? It's quite interesting to see a slightly different side to the industry with sheet metals.
The interesting thing about this event, it was a forum where there was suppliers of sheet metal machinery like Trump. The event was actually at Wilson Tools, so they were hosting the event. But the idea was to bring in lots of companies that in some ways they compete with each other with their machinery. But this wasn't about selling your product. This was about educating the sheet metal market as to how they can get the best out of all types of machinery and all types of services within the industry. So you had, like you say, Trump. There was various other equipment manufacturers, Lismac, that do the finishing of sheet metal parts. Engineers could basically turn up, have breakfast, listen to these guys do speeches on how they can improve the quality of their products and how they can make things faster, learn about Industry 4, and it was very well attended. They had over, I think something like 40 or 50 people per day over the 2-day event. So it was the first time they'd done it in the UK. In the Netherlands they'd done one, which was extremely successful. And you can see here, it was a very busy event.
So when's the next event?
Well, they've got events planned. There are events planned again to do similar over the course of the next year, down to the popularity of this one.
NDS Tooling, they remanufacture and produce tools, but it's really about Anca here. I don't know much about this company, Anca Machines. Tell me about Anca and a little bit about the tooling company.
Yeah, well, Anca, they're a new client of ours. The machines are actually made in Australia, but they're one of the leading CNC cutter grinder for companies out there. I used to use one actually in my apprenticeship, so from a long time ago anyway. Used to do TG7. This one is an FX7 linear. And the big thing that stands out is the surface finish. I don't know if you can pick it up on the video, but the surface finish of the end mills that come off here are extraordinary. And that's down to 2 things. It's down to just the drives and controls, which are made actually by Anca themselves. They don't bring them in. But also the fact it's linear. It's obviously quicker, and the surface finish is extraordinary.
That's what I picked up about surface finish. Linear motors I thought was about speed, but it's also about the quality of the end product. Reminds me a little bit, I know this is robot loaded as well, which aids for automation. Reminds me a little bit about FANUC. When you buy a FANUC machine, you've got FANUC drives, FANUC motors, FANUC control. With this, it's a similar type. So you know you're getting everything as part of one package from one manufacturer.
Exactly. 840 tools you can load.
How easy was that to program? By looking at what he was saying to make a new tool. Incredibly easy.
It's embarrassing calling it programming, to be honest with you. You say I want to make an end mill, 4 flutes, centre cutting, variable helix. I want this helix at that. It's barely. Perhaps I'm doing them an injustice.
And I have to say, compliments where compliments are due. It was a good video, Joe.
Very kind, thank you.
Where can we buy Anca machines?
You can buy from Anca UK. They've got a place in Coventry. In fact, they're having an open day fairly shortly. They haven't released the date yet, as I would give it you. But they've got stock in the UK. You can go and see these machines under power, or go and see NDS Tooling.
There you go.
Go and see Dean. Nice guy. So
the Hyfore shop, it's got over 100,000 products. What's in it?
Yeah, over 100,000 products online on their shop, and that's where you essentially go to buy the products. And it can be anything from a vise to a 4th axis unit, anything that is an accessory to a machine tool. Often when you're looking for a vise, you'll go to a vise manufacturer. When you want a 4th axis, you'll go to a 4th axis manufacturer. But they've brought it all under one umbrella, which is the Highfall Shop, which Rob Beckett heads up. They sell a lot of product, they really do.
My favourite bit is the matrix stuff. That's really clever. And I know we've talked about that in a couple of weeks ago, which is great. That pin's like the face thing, isn't it?
It is, and that's where the idea came from. You can see that in the catalogue. But yeah, anything that as an accessory to a machine tool, chucks, whatever it might be, you know, if you, instead of hunting everywhere, a little bit like MTD, everything is in one place on the Hyfall
And
shop.
a good ambassador, isn't he, for the shop, Rob?
Rob is very good. This video was shot at a recent event, and they had a lot of the portfolio there. There's a CMM work holding system again, which is quite novel and unique, and you see some quite interesting stuff.
Perfect. Can I just say, I've noticed a change. There's a clap. I've noticed a change in you. You're really nice to each other, and you keep complimenting all the people in the video. Is something happened this week or something?
Just a nice guy, Lyndsey.
Just a nice guy with
Moving on. Mitsubishi die sinker review from HK Technologies. You were there, weren't you, Joe?
I was there in Germany, yes. I know you've just said about his complimenting videos, but Scott knows his EDM, doesn't he, from HK Technologies. He really is. He is Mr. EDM. You know, this is a EA12V die sinking machine, and it's all about, you know, the controller stability. You know, it's 0.1 RA finish, which is extraordinary for that. And I know you love this video as well.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about the Mitsubishi is one of the things he was talking about was the control, and how for some harder materials to machine on, often gone.
Yeah, no, I just a list. He was talking about carbide, poly, crystallized diamond, but it's also steels and coppers as well. So it's a real kind of range.
Yeah, the more challenging the material, the better the machine performs. I guess you can buy a lesser machine to do the easy materials. But when you get to the upper echelon of materials, the carbides, you do need a premium machine. And this is a premium machine, but it hasn't got the premium price tag attached to it. So, and this is available from HK in Rugby.
And like you say, Scott is very, very informative.
And that's the thing, you buy, I know we're behind time, but when you buy a machine tool, whether it's an EDM, a machine tool, you're not just buying that machine, you're buying the service, the support, the infrastructure. And
knowledge.
You've got the knowledge of Scott, the infrastructure of HK in the UK, and Mitsubishi in Germany is just extraordinary. Huge guys.
You're being very nice today. I think there's something in the water.
It could change.
Okay.
Change.
Right, Thame Workholding. You were reviewing some products, weren't you?
Yeah, I think what's great here is look at how alike these two look. You imagine it's like you looking in the mirror, isn't it?
Do you know what?
His haircut.
Everyone says how attractive Danny is.
What I'd also like to say about this video,
guy.
which is really good, is how much stuff is on that table. It's a bit like Joe's lunch table, isn't it? It's got sandwiches, cakes, his crisps,
Back to normal.
Fizzy drinks, all that. But it just shows how much product they've got to offer. There was loads on there, and it must have been very difficult to get around it all.
I'm looking at my monitor, Paul, and there's not a great deal difference, I've got to tell you.
But it was good to touch on their work holding, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's Lang, obviously, supplied by Thame Workholding, and they'll thank me for saying that. But, you know, you've put me right off now, by the way. But yeah, no, they've got lots of different products, not just Lang, they've got various other products, but go and have a look at their website.
I like the way they brought the chuck into the kind of Lang. It's like a Lang chuck, isn't it, where you use a chuck instead of a Lang vise. So you can hold cylindrical parts essentially.
Great haircut, that.
And also they've got their fans there as well, and of course the Interflex chucks. And in some ways, again, they're almost like a one-stop shop for a lot of work holding products, aren't they?
So you can go on their website.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you want a haircut, get one like those two.
Okay then. So back to normal then. Yeah, you're not being nice anymore. Right. Next up, we're going to be joined by Steve Weiss, who's the Managing Director of Maylan Engineering, and we're discussing the Palletmaster. Welcome to the show, Steve. Thank you for being here and letting us talk today about the Palletmaster. Steve, can you tell us the history of the Palletmaster?
My father was in the market for a pallet changer years and years ago. He couldn't find one that was good enough, reliable enough, cheap enough, so he went out, designed one himself and built it and sold them from there on.
And you manufacture all of them yourself, do you?
Yeah, they're all built in our factory in Corby, Northamptonshire.
Right, and you sell them, where are they sold?
It's sold globally, mainly in the UK. We've got a big market in Scandinavia, but the rest of the world as well.
It's a successful product, isn't it? You've sold many of these throughout. When did you start selling them?
I think it was about 1996, and the original one is still going now.
Wow.
It's incredible that when you look at this system, I've seen many of them in the field. Would you say that the biggest benefit to this, or having a system like this, is to increase the spindle uptime?
Yeah, it's what it's all about. It's preventing all the downtime. Your spindle, you've got from it stopping the cycle, you got between 10 and 20 seconds from changing from one pallet to the other, and your spindle's turning again. You're cutting metal.
Your favourite saying, but the point is, these days engineers want to make sure that spindle is running as much as possible, because there is a statistic that we hear that less than a machining centre is less than 20% efficient, so that spindle's only cutting for less than 20% of the time, which really, when you look at that as a stat, you think, hang on a minute, how can I get that up? And by introducing a pallet system like that enables you to do that, because you're loading outside of the machine. You're then just literally, as Steve said, taking one pallet out and putting it back in.
You know, when people buy machines a lot of the time as well, aren't the sales guys saying, you know, your cost per minute? A lot of them are selling the machine on what it costs to run per minute and machine times. But when you're saying about downtime, surely to goodness, with a Palletmaster, you are lifting that uptime. It's got to be. You know, when a machine is working on a part, it's like having a twin pallet machine, isn't it?
It stands to reason, and I'm sure Steve's been involved in this for many years, that you want to keep that spindle turning as much as possible. That's obvious. But there are some people that maybe don't have the demand from a machine, that don't have enough work to fill the machine. You know, those are factors. And you can also buy twin pallet machining centres, can't you, Steve? I mean, that is an option too. So there are various options in being able to keep your spindle turning, and this is just another one of those, which I suppose in a lot of ways, when I look at it, Steve, the nicety about this is the fact that it can be installed to any machine, can't it? So you can buy a machining centre without maybe committing to the additional cost of buying a twin pallet machine, knowing that if you need to go that extra level, you can just add one of your systems to it.
Yeah. We fit them to new machines and we fit them to old machines. We fitted one recently to a machine that was 20 years old, and the customer's over the moon because they've doubled their output. They got busy on the machine. Rather than buying another spindle, just bolted our unit to the front and they were away. How
long would it take to put, let's say we've got there a Haas VF2 in the video behind us, how long would it take to put your Palletmaster on here?
Typically we say about 3 hours. So I've
done
done
it.
Start to finish. I've done it in half an hour before. So
is there no cosmetic issue in putting the changing the guarding or anything like that?
No, there's a clamp unit, the unit that the pallets slide on and off, that's just bolted to the table, so we simply lift that in, bolt that down, and then the frame pushes up to the front of the machine and that's bolted to the floor. So there's no guarding changes or anything like that.
Is it tailored to every single machine? So, you know, you go from one manufacturer to another, but then you've got different machines in their range. How do you combat that?
It's mainly the main difference is between the machines and our pallet changers is just the transfer rails that go on the inside, because all the guarding's always a different set distance from the table. So we just tailor-made the lengths of the rails. There are occasionally where you have a control in the way, or the swarf tray's got to come out where we have to pull the frame forward and things. But it's basically the same system for every machine.
And what's the sizes? I think I've seen actually some of the information on your website. So, yeah. I mean, people can always go there. But what are the size limitations?
We go from 500 by 400 up to 1250 by 500. And there's about 6 or 7 different products in that range.
Is there any weight restrictions of parts you can put once the pallets are installed? And also getting a bit technical, what's the clamping? How's it added to the table? What's the sort of the clamping structure?
Clamping structure's dead simple. It's purely mechanical. There's no air in it. There's no interfaces electronically, and it's just some location pins. The linear rails, the rails that it rolls in and off of, are dropped out of the way. It sits flat and sturdy on the clamp unit. And there's also 2 clamps that pull it down, so you're not going to move it, and it repeats about 20 microns. I was
going to say, this is
within 20 microns.
This is another important point, because by setting a part outside of the machine, if you've got the accuracy when you're putting the pallet into the machine, you know where the part is. So your datums are set. There's no additional clocking to be done to find out where the part is. You're machining straight away, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we've put them on CMMs before, so people who are spending a lot of time setting a part up with fixturing to measure it have just put our pallet changers on. They've got 2 fixtures, and that's how accurate it is and how good it is.
Do you provide the fixtures?
We can manufacture, we can help design and manufacture fixtures. We manufacture fixtures in-house, big variety of fixtures. Yeah, we can do anything really.
And you're a subcontract company as well, aren't you? So you've got a lot of machines too.
Yeah, we've got quite a few machines. Milling, turning, a little bit of grinding. We've got some twin spindles, twin turrets, sliding heads. So
it's kind of, they're part of the business, isn't it? So you go into 2 sides.
Yeah, the pallet changers were born out of the subcon side of the business. But yeah, they complement each other nicely.
Do you practice what you preach? Have you got these on your machines?
They're on all the machines, yeah.
I thought you were going to say no then. And when it comes to the machines, I know we mentioned this, so any machine tool, you could go out, even if it's a brand new machine and it was a new model with new livery, this sort of system, you could go out and you could even get the drawing of the machine and add one of these to it.
I wouldn't rubber stamp that, but just about yes. Yeah, we've got them on just about every manufacturer.
It's always good to hear stories from engineers as well, of how much they've saved. It's great us talking about how good it is here, but have you got any examples of your customers that have witnessed these savings?
The one that we fitted to an older machine, they've doubled their output. Rather than buying a new spindle, new machine, they just bolted our pallet changer on the front of an old machine, and hey presto, we did do the fixturing for them as well.
And I think the one final thing I would ask is lots of people look at pallet systems, pallet changers as production tools, but this is about versatility, isn't it? This is about having, maybe machining a cast in 1 minute to a couple of billets the next, and just being able to go from one to the other very, very quickly.
Yeah, you can do 2 totally different components. You can be setting one job while an existing job's already running. You can use it for anything really, yeah.
And even if you were loading a part that you couldn't crane into a machine because of the door, you could actually quite easily crane it onto one of your pallets there. So it would assist you if you had larger components as well, wouldn't it, to be able to get them into the machine?
Yeah, it does. We've got a few people that crane on castings, a lot for the motor industry. So it's helping with that, it's helping with fatigue. The men are not leaning inside the machines, bending over, getting the backache and things like that. It's a good tool for the health and safety as well.
By being an external part to a machine, does it ever affect the warranty from the manufacturer if it's going on to a new machine or anything?
No, it's not affecting the machine. You don't have to alter the machine, change the machine or anything, so it doesn't affect the warranty at all.
No. So can you tell us about your HSE visit?
HSE came in to do a spot check on us once. We showed them around, they were happy, but they saw the pallet changes, and then they saw the advantages it gave and the help it gave with bad backs and things, and they actually took the bump away with themselves to promote it.
Really?
So they'll be going around engineering companies saying that this could help you, this could help your business to stop things like injuries happening, could protect you against people being off sick. So it's a great promotional tool for you.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 good promotional tools now. You've got that and MTD.
Yeah. Absolutely, great.
And I've been watching lots of videos, and there's a lot of customers out there that we've reviewed and they've got it too in their company, so it's a kind of nice endorsement there as well. So to really finish off on this interview, financially, technically we're saying it's an investment because people can save money as opposed to purchasing, a larger machine. Secondly, the downtime for a company, again saving the money long term. And thirdly, there's quite a nice health and safety aspect for employees as well. So it's not just one reason to go for the Palletmaster. We'll put all the details on the Palletmaster on the screen. I know it's Maylan at maylan.com. That's the best way to contact or to give you a call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Cheers.
Thanks for watching Swarf and Chips, and a big thank you to Steve Weiss for coming along and joining us on the show. Any previous episodes, click on the links here. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and as we always say, keep those spindles turning.